I saw it coming. I'll tell you, Amanda. I saw all this coming because teachers, truthfully, are the front line. We are the front line of this battle because education is the last. It's the last bastion, for democracy right now. If what's happening right now, which is for those people who are unaware, the state governments across the nation, they're banning the study of race-related education, basically. And they are taking control of curriculum. Suddenly, shortly thereafter, they're taking powers away from the institutions of higher education in the state. And they're giving those powers to the legislature to control curriculum, to control whether they hire or fire people at a whim if they don't like what they're teaching, if they feel like they violate these policies, to control the powers of the president of the institution, and to give them to the legislature. They're making sure that no one can defy them, basically, and actually teach these things. And they've been very successful at doing so, with very little pushback from anyone. So I want everyone to think really hard about that. The origin of this is, for those people who don't know, Chris Rufo and James Lindsay. James Lindsay is a failed mathematics PhD who talked to the right people saying that he was a world-level expert on critical race theory because he spent 12 hours a day for like several weeks, studying all the literature. And Chris Rufo is a career propagandist who latched on to this issue, critical race theory, as well. And together, just these two random white men who came out of the woodwork started this whole dog and pony show to drum up fear for people about critical race theory. How do I know that? Well, because I watched it, number one. And number two, because Chris Rufo admitted that that's exactly what he was doing. He actually publicly wrote it would be a confession if anybody was going to stop him. But he explained his evil plan. He said, we're going to make critical race theory toxic. We're going to make sure that anytime anyone thinks of critical race, the most extreme things that they can think of, that they think critical race theory. We're going to take control of their brand. Because to him, this is all a branding issue. It has nothing to do with humans or humanity or hearts or minds or anything like that. He is just about control. And he was able to take that message all the way into state legislatures and even into the federal legislature. Okay, he was there helping them write these bills, helping them draft the language. He did draft them, So think about that, guys. All he had to do was just say, you know what, this stuff is dangerous. And then boom, people were giving him money. People were giving him a platform to speak. People were letting him into positions of power. He's not an elected official, but he wrote these bills. And that's kind of the way that our government is operating. A lot of people can't look at that and see white supremacy, but that's exactly what it is. Only a white man could have pulled that off, guys. Only him. And only someone who was against anti-racism could have pulled it off. If he was the same person trying to promote anti-racism, he'd probably be dead. Honestly. And that's not an exaggeration. This is and always has been a life or death struggle, especially for Black Americans who, just like that older woman on the bus who looked at me with a lack of humanity, there are plenty of people walking around here who could look at me that way. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous for me. That's a dangerous situation. A lot of them have a badge and authority to kill me without consequence. That's the country that we're living in. That's my experience and other people's experience in this country. If that outrages you, if that disgusts you, as it does me, if you don't want to accept, let's do school shooter trainings, let's arm every teacher, if you don't want to accept putting kids in cages leaving them there to languish and die sometimes. If this stuff disgusts you, you got to do something about it. Okay, you got to act on it. And the first action is asking yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to do something about it? And that's a hard question, all right? But you got to ask it. And it doesn't really matter what the answer is. It matters if you answer, okay? It matters if you ask it and you answer it, honestly. And then go with that answer, whatever it is.